Hello, everyone. Alok here. Sorry, my hair is like big mess. We're still in there's a lockdown here, so I haven't even gone outside yet. Though I am being illuminated by sunlight right now as I talk to you. So I want to talk a little bit about leadership, and it's probably why you can see my hair. Without leadership here, this is what you look like—a big mess. Um, go in all different directions. You don't go anywhere. And leadership is just really important. And leadership can take you places where you just don't imagine. And one of the misconceptions is that some leaders have a great vision, and they have good instincts and things like that. Well, almost all leaders will have good instincts, but one of the things that's funny is that how all at times poor a vision can be of someone who actually is a very effective leader, or their misconceptions or other things. But they will course correct, of course, if they're a really successful leader and accomplish things. So, a couple of just quick examples. One, you could look at the instant messenger market. So this is over maybe 25 years old when the first instant messaging client to message people peer-to-peer chat came out. One of the first ones, I mean, there was commercial and that got big. It was something called ICQ. This was quickly acquired by AOL. AOL then had its own messenger. There was Yahoo Messenger. There was a Microsoft MSN Messenger. All of these guys, and they were all very big. And something interesting happened that I don't think any of these guys really made any money, if anything, from their messengers. So they didn't really focus on the messenger, put a lot of resources into it or anything like that because they weren't making any money from it. Even though they were pretty big, and then they stopped caring about it, and other things came up. So meanwhile, another guy copies this idea in China. A guy by the name of Pony Ma, I think it's his nickname, Pony Ma in China, and he starts a company, Tencent, and he started Tencent in China, and he started in the late 1990s. He started his instant messenger, and he ended up he was getting sued for a couple of years, and he wasn't making any money. So but he had a big user base with his instant messenger. So they started at Tencent under Pony Ma. They started a games portal, and so they started a games portal. You could buy a few virtual goods, and that kind of kept them going. And then what got really big is when they launched an instant messaging mobile app, and they wanted to make it as great as it was. They thought it would be very important again, and so they started WeChat, and WeChat has become this giant phenomenon, and it's propelled Tencent to be the most valuable internet company in China, worth nearly $1 trillion at this point. And what's amazing is so they stuck with this instant messaging kind of vision that this is something really important, really big, and they bet that it would be even bigger on mobile phones, that it would get even bigger. And at the same time, these other guys, Microsoft, AOL, Yahoo, these guys, they weren't making any money in instant messaging, so they didn't care about it much on mobile. They didn't make too much of an effort to migrate it to mobile, and they never made money from it. It was never worth anything for them. And so these new guys came out, ICQ in China, these guys, and then WhatsApp came out, and of course WhatsApp, they haven't made any money yet, but they got acquired for a lot of money, $20 billion by Facebook. So, and it's probably worth a lot more than that actually. So, an enormous amount of money. And well, at the same time, all these other guys, Microsoft and Yahoo and whatnot, they didn't make any money from this. So it's interesting that a similar kind of an idea, the idea of an instant messenger, in some hands, they were able to build something. One of the very biggest companies in China with that idea, and with others they couldn't get anywhere, so they just they shut it down pretty quickly. Another other examples that you could look at, of course, the very famous example of leadership is with Apple. That a little over 20 years ago, really 20 years ago, it was a few more than 20 years ago, like 20, 24 years ago, it was months away from actually declaring bankruptcy. They got an investment from Microsoft and commitment from Microsoft to keep developing for Apple. And that helped Apple keep going. And then they came out with the iMac and got some good products out there. And and so Apple was close to bankruptcy, and today it's the most valuable